this number 5?
I think it's 5, yeah.
Number 5. So we are here for our 5th Lunch and Learn. Let me turn my camera a little bit. Ooh, we even got the 7 dwarfs back there. You see those guys standing on the logs right there? Huh?
Oh, yeah, I see that.
The first year that we bought, just by the way, like side note, this was the year, like 2020 was the year, right? On Christmas, we surprise our kids with season passes for the whole year to go to California, go to Disney multiple times. And if there's a sure investment that you want to go sour, let Cody invest in it, because COVID hit and Disney closed. And I guarantee you, if Disney knew this, they would be like, Cody, it was all because of you.
Yeah.
So brutal. The year we opened up to do it is the year that we got in on. So we went in January and we stayed for like a whole week and went like 4 or 5 times. And then we went in March and we went another like 3 or 4 times that week. Nice. So we've already got our use. And what's nice is ever since it's been closed, they're just adding that on to however many months it's been closed. They tack it on the end of your thing. So we're going to be fine. But regardless, it's like this was the year to get out and travel and go see Mickey and all the 7 dwarfs. And it didn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So,
bummer.
Well, let us go. That was such a stupid story, but we're here, guys. Lunch and Learn. We want to break down some fun stuff. This is our 5th week, me and Justin doing this. Justin is the owner of Open Letter Marketing. If you haven't heard of him, if you're brand new to this, you haven't been on the past Facebook Lives or the YouTube Lives that we've done, Justin is going to share his story here in just a second, a little breakdown of who he is, background, all that fun stuff. And we're going to break down just some easy ways how you can simplify your business. When you talk of people like that are growing, scaling, hitting the numbers that they want to hit, without fail, there's something that's always in like common with these individuals. And it's they invest their time in automation. They invest their time in software, processes. And then once those things are in place, they scale and put a team in place to fulfill those processes, those action items that need to be done. But a lot of times, a lot of people do it backwards. They don't have a process in place. They scale and get the team and then wonder why they never really launch. And then they have to start all over and all over and all over. So once the processes are in place, then bring on the team. Always remember that. That's probably the number one golden rule of scale is make sure you have a process in place before you bring the team.
And it's hard to do that. I'm sure everybody wants to just say, all right, it's working. I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I don't want to slow down to write procedures, processes. I mean, I've done that too.
We're all guilty of it. That's how I shared this experience from my own mistakes.
Yeah. And then you feel it though. If you don't do that, if you bypass that step, you will feel it. Absolute 100% if you don't create those procedures. Whether that's you working a lot longer than you should, many more hours, things break down, doesn't work. Always figure out the process, then scale.
Here's something cool, Justin, I want you to share that you shared with me before we pushed live. We were talking on the phone today, thinking about how can we add value today for your Lunch and Learn? What can we do to make sure that you guys get a lot of value out of this? Mm-hmm. And we think we've nailed it. We hope we have. So we would love your comments throughout this. In fact, I'm going to be able to post the comments so I can see it. But if you have any comments, guys, for example, we'll be taking some questions live. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'd love to hear your input on how we can help you in this. But we really feel like we've nailed something that'll be simple for you and show you the software that allows you to do it. But something cool, me and Justin were talking about just before we got live here today, is Justin's going to be doing something pretty dang unique because he has processes in place, because he has systems in place, and because he has team in place. What are you going to be doing here in the near future that is going to be something that many people aspire to be able to do in the future?
My family and I are doing a cross-country trip for 2 months starting at the end of September to go over to the West Coast, travel down the West Coast, to go over to Utah, see you, Zion, Bryce, and then and travel all the way back to Boston. So we're excited.
2 months, guys. 2 months to be able to just pull away from the business and know that things are going to be taken in control. Things are still going to be able to grow and things are still going to be able to go the way it is because he has the right procedures. And you're going to see from some of these softwares that he has developed how it's like, I'm grateful for people like him because this brain does not develop anything. It just kind of, everyone thinks that R&D was research and develop. And I think that's what it was back in like the industrial age. But R&D today is rip off and duplicate. And that, my friend, I am grateful for the Justins out there that develop incredible software so I can just simply rip off and duplicate and make my life easier. So let's go. Tell them a little bit of background, who you are for those that haven't been with us for the last few weeks. Tell them a little bit about yourself, your background with investing, and let's go from there.
Yeah. So I started investing in 2010. I was working a day job in Boston. I was an accountant, and I just knew that that wasn't my calling. So I started flipping properties, and I leveraged with my father. He had an understanding of construction, so I knew the numbers. So we started buying properties and doing flips, entry-level flips. And over the years, I graduated to from entry level to mid-level to high-end new construction to now what I'm doing is in the city of Boston, I'm doing condo conversions. But even still, the first 5 years, I was working full-time while investing and doing renovations. So for those of you that have a day job and trying to get in or are in investing, I understand your pain points. But the good thing was it got me to be very efficient with my time. So 4 years ago, in addition to doing my investment, my wholesales, my development deals in Boston, about 5 years ago, I started open letter marketing because I saw there was a huge void in the market. When I started investing, I said, I want to be in charge of my own deal flow. How do I do that? I don't depend on other people. I create my own deal flow within. So I wanted to do direct to seller marketing. And through that, I selected direct mail because it was very much automated. And
which is my favorite. You are now making me smile from ear to ear. Direct mail, guys, still is my lowest cost per conversion and still is my best. Well, I should say it hovers. I have to be truth and teller on this. It hovers. There's two lead channels, and that is like my web, my PPC, and direct mail. Those two are my biggest ROI marketing channels. Keep going.
Yeah. So I started in direct mail and became very analytical about how I did my direct mail. And I noticed that there were only certain providers that were doing direct mail for real estate investors, and they all had the same products. So I knew if I wanted to stand out from everybody else, I had to do something different. And I had to make sure that what I was doing worked properly. So through testing,
I'm assuming this cost you money. Like, instead of just following the whole herd, what you did is you're like, well, I'm going to test this, knowing that it also is going to be this learning curve. Like it's going to be, I'm going to send this out. That was a bust. I'm going to send this out. That was a bust. I'm going to send this out. Ooh, a little bit better response, but I want better. And then you kept tweaking.
Yeah. I figured if I got amazingly well at marketing, then I would have as much deal flow as I need to keep my business running and successful. That's all that it is. Just get very good at marketing. So learning about marketing, what gets you noticed, what gets your calls. So just going through that whole journey, I became very good with direct mail and figuring out what works, what doesn't, not only what kind of products, but the strategy behind it and what gets people to call, how to build rapport before you even talk to them, just on what type of marketing. So about 5 years ago, I launched open letter marketing because I saw there was a huge void in the market and no products or services that really offered investors the best approach to marketing, knowing the strategy behind it. So anything that we offer now in open letter marketing, I've tested, I've tried, I've made sure that it worked really well. Whether it's direct mail, ringless voicemail, skip tracing, everything, I'm testing all the services in my business. If it works well, I start offering it to my customers, and we know the strategies behind it of how to utilize it and when to send it out. So for the last 5 years, I've been running my investment company as well as open letter marketing to help other investors around the country.
Yeah, I love it. And fast forward, here you are now able to bring this public to individuals like me that says, thank you for all your hard spending and learning curve. So I could just simply rip off and duplicate Mr. Justin Silverio.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the most exciting thing. The last couple of months, we've really developed all of the software that you can really get people to become a marketing pro without really having to read all the books and doing all the stuff behind the scenes that I had to do to get to this point. We've provided a software that will get people up and running and knowing where their best leads are so they can really focus on those instead of focusing on all the leads equally the same, which so many investors do. So yeah, I'm really excited to be showing people what we have and getting them involved with the system, because it's so important to get your marketing correct and make sure that you are consistent and pushing out marketing.
Well, it frees you up. Like the whole thing, I say it like maybe we didn't touch it hard, like strong enough, but I really want people to understand how cool. What would it be like for you guys to really just think about this? I want you to think deep on this. What would it mean for you? What would it do for you, your family? Maybe it's a spouse, maybe it's kids, maybe it's friends, maybe it's mom and dad. Want you to think, what would it do for you to be able to say, I can pull away from business for 2 months, knowing that there's not going to be a dip in revenue and that things are still going to go smooth, but for 2 months, I'm going to go make memories. And I think about majority of the students that go through the Real Estate Freedom Formula, the wholesaling course that I coach, a lot of individuals, when I talk to them, I always ask I have either myself or my team ask them the questions, and that's why are you getting into real estate? What is it about real estate that you're really excited about? And everyone's number one pain point of what they're trying, like Tony Robbins talks about, they're either running to pleasure or running away from pain, right? And that's, if you think about it, we're always running away from pain or running towards pleasure. And in most instances, they're running away from pain in hope for that pleasure. And the biggest pain point is they want more time. They want more time back. They're always gone working for the dollar, but it's not paying them enough. And they're always living that paycheck to paycheck where there's more month left at the end of the check. And it's just something that just keeps going. And they finally get to the point where like, this isn't going to change unless I change. And so I think this is what's cool is real estate is a vehicle that allows you to do that, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed to you, because I know people that don't have systems and process in place, and it's very much just another job. It's just a higher paying job, but they still have to give the same amount of time to that job to make that increased income, where I'm saying, how cool would it be if you could have increased income and not have to work 40 hours a week? What if you could have increased income and only work 10 hours a week, or better yet, Justin being able to leave for 2 months, meaning there may be here and there phone calls, but very, very free, very, very like location freedom, time freedom, money freedom, to be able to just go out and for 2 months, create memories with his family. I think that's admirable. And that's something that if there's anything we can learn from what we're going to be going over about systems and softwares, the end goal is, how cool would it be? What would it do for if you could be gone for 2 months, guys?
Right.
I know what it'd be for me. It'd be pretty dang cool. So, all right, man, let's break right into it. Let's go into what we're going to learn about.
Yeah.
And when you do a screen share, I'll pull it up.
You got it.
Kind of just break it down. What we're going to be talking about skip tracing. That's something that is very much necessary, whether that's for direct mail, so that you can get all new numbers. Maybe you got undeliverable mail coming back and you're like, what should I do with it? Yes, you can use that skip trace to call them, or you can simply skip trace to get the next address that you might be living at and send them mail again. But either way, we're going to show you how simple this software is, so that you get more time back and not fiddle around with things, but you just instantly get your contacts back, the number one source of getting those high converting contacts back, and how simple it is. So break it down for us, Justin.
Yeah. So even on top of that, I know a lot of people, they do driving for dollars, right? They drive around streets and write down the addresses that are run down. So anytime that somebody does that in my investment company, I basically have them write the street name at the top of the piece of paper, and then just write the numbers as they go down. So it makes it much quicker. They're like 19, 18, 15. And it's all, those numbers are right underneath the street name. And then they go back and they put it into a spreadsheet. So I know there are a lot of people that have tons of spreadsheets for driving for dollars, and they just know the property addresses, but they need all the other information. And let's say you're in a new area that you don't even know the zip code, or there's multiple zip codes depending on the town. Like around me, there's like more than one zip code per town or city. So then you have to find the zip codes out. So what I'm going to show you is, and I'm going to share my screen in a minute, but it's going to get, our system gives you the ability to just have the address, city, and state, right? All the known information that you have. You don't have to have the zip code. You can.
And you don't have the name of the individual?
Nope, you don't have to have the name of the individual. You don't have to
that's really cool.
Yeah, just properties, address, city, and state. That's it.
City, state, address. I don't need to keep doing the
zip code.
Zip code, and I don't need to know the property owner.
Nope, none of that. So I'm
does my team know this?
What's that?
I said, does my team know this?
I don't know.
If they don't, I better get them on this because this is like good stuff.
New product too. We are launching InvestorHub tomorrow. We're opening it back up to the public.
Yeah, buddy.
And we got this in yesterday or the day before, this new product, because people were asking and we were working on it. So we wanted to make sure it was in before we started a relaunch. So this is kind of new that not many people have seen yet. In the system.
By the way, I'm going to bring this up for you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
How can I contact you? I'm assuming this is for you. I'm in New Hampshire looking for autopilot marketing system, guys.
Right up the street. Right up the street.
Click up this link up above. You're on Facebook. Yep. So that link up above goes right to the portal, and that's how you get right into this autopilot. We're gonna be showing you the software for skip tracing specifically today, but the CRM's in there, InvestorHub that he's going to be talking about on that today. Those are all within this portal. So just click on this link above, and it lines you up with this guy, right? I should say this way. Yeah, this guy right here. So yeah,
and I'll even show them. Let me share my screen here. So I'm sharing my screen.
Okay, I'll bring that up.
Do your magic.
And then also look at this. I'm interested in more information about your marketing program.
Sweet.
So guys, again, go over to right there.
It is there.
openlettermarketing.com/REFF. That's openlettermarketing.com/REFF. And it's going to go to what you're looking at right this second on this screen. This is the portal. Go for it, brother.
And if they have any questions, click this button here, right? And we'll help you out. You can talk right to our salespeople, our marketing people, and they know strategy as well as I know because they know what's going on in my investment business.
Can you give me a zoom in?
Can I zoom in? Can you see?
Perfect. Thank you, brother.
Is that good? Okay, cool.
That looks great.
So this button on the right-hand side, they can click on that, and we can chat with them.
Cool.
So here is the portal. What we're going to be talking about is OLM InvestorHub right here. This one coming July 29th, which is tomorrow. Super exciting. So let's dive in. So here is InvestorHub here. And let me open up a spreadsheet so you guys can see this spreadsheet that I'm dealing with. So let me make it a little bit bigger. Can you see that okay?
Yep. Make it even a little bit bigger.
Yep, you got it. That good? Bigger?
That'll work.
Okay, cool. So you can see I have my property address, property city, and property state. That's all the information I have. That's all I need. So I have a big list. I think I have about 50 names on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to import it into the system first.
So let's say you're going out there, like guys, just to put in real time perspective, let's say you're going out there driving for dollars and you just see this house that's ran down, house that's boarded up, house that shingles are missing on the roof, just shows like signs of distress or deferred maintenance. Simply just jot down the address, jot down the city, jot down the state, and that's all you will need for this. And then he's going to show you what you do with that list. So you put it on a CVS file, and then let's go from there.
Yep. So it could be an Excel file or a CSV, whatever they want.
Or CSV. I said CVS. Isn't that a pharmacy?
It is a pharmacy. So
guys, don't listen to me. Listen to Justin. I would have sent you to a pharmacy.
I was letting it go.
Oh, don't let it go. I'm such a spaz.
Here we go. We got the file. We're just going to drop it in. I'm going to call it Tewksbury DFD list. I'm going to say this is a lead list I'm importing, and it's a driving for dollar list. So we're telling the system what type of lead list this is. Yeah. Because the system can do lots of cool stuff with that information, which we've gone through last week, and we can get into more details in another kind of week. So I'm going to click on next. It's going to automatically map your information or attempt to. You can see it's mapped all of my fields. Address is matched as address, city is matched to city, and state. So that's it. So I just have to click on next. And I'm just going to go and click on import. I'm not going to change anything here. So I'm going to import my list. Once I click on import, it's going to take you over to your import process, and it's going to show you the status of the importing. So you can see, bam, imported, 100%. So now I can check out the leads. And I'm going to just do a very easy filter so you can see these specific leads. And I'm just going to say property city is, because they're all in Tewksbury. Search. So you can see only the property address information is here. You can see the zip codes are now here, right? All the zip codes are here, automatically populated.
So as fast as that, it's already skip trace, it's already done.
It's not skip traced yet, but it's basically identified the zip code.
Oh, it's already identified it. So we haven't skip traced yet, but it's already identified the missing information that you didn't know.
Right. So now you have the full property address information. So to skip trace this, all that you have to do is I'm going to say select all. We got all 50 records, and I'm going to click on fulfillment. Top right hand, you can see right here, skip tracing. It's going to bring me down. Homeowner skip trace. So I want to scrub all 50 leads.
Okay.
$6. And I'm going to click on order. And even if you
order it, I want you to spend the money. I want them to show you that you're willing to spend the money right now with us. Show me how easy.
So this is not a real credit card, obviously.
Ooh, so I can enter in a fake one? Just kidding.
So it's in test mode.
Oh, okay.
So we just ordered. I'm going to go over to fulfillment just so you can see the status. And you'll see how many records matched and all that. So let's just wait for a second.
While that's downloading, here's one. Who do you receive the information from? TLO, Skip Trainee, or Skip Genie?
Neither one. So TLO doesn't allow you to do batch. We don't use Skip Genie. So we use our own system with IDI and another couple other services that we have integrated into here. And
what is it about IDI that makes it pretty cool? Aren't they the ones that deliver like the most accurate information as well and the best hit?
Through a lot of my testing, they deliver very good information. And not only that, they provide you with a lot of information. So we can get multiple mailing addresses, multiple phone numbers, multiple email addresses, names, all of that. We can, and they gave really good data. So you can see right here, right, of the total 50 that I skip traced, we have a 100% match rate. So we've identified information for all 50 leads.
So all 50 leads got entered in.
Yep.
They came back in what would you call that? 30 seconds?
If that.
So 30 seconds or less, they came back and it found all 50 of the leads you entered in.
Yep. So now I'm searching again for the list that I pulled in, and you can see now. Let me click on here. Now you can see it's got property, it's got their name, it's got mailing address, it's got a phone number if we can identify one. And it's even identified in the landline. So we have it right in that phone number. If we have multiple phone numbers, let me pull up another one. Right, here's a mobile number, 2 landlines, an email address. So it gives you all this information.
Unbelievable.
For all of the leads. So just really easy for something that takes a lot of time. I know even though I have a very different way to pull lists and find people's names and mailing addresses, that would still take me at least 30 minutes to do that process with 50 people. But this is just super simple. You don't need the zip codes, which might seem small, but if you're dealing with a town or a city that has multiple zip codes, it's a pain in the ass to figure out, all right, this one's a different zip code from this other one. The system just does it for you.
Awesome.
And you can skip trace nice and easy. So now you can go on.
Time saver. This is a time saver. So many times in the past, Justin, I mean, for someone that may not know or haven't done a skip trace, let me tell you why it's a time saver so they can kind of see why I'm a little giddy about it. Before, what we'd do is we'd go out and we'd drive for dollars. We'd get an address and we would get the city, the state. We would go get the zip code, as well as we would take every one of those names, run it through our county assessor's website, see who's the name of the person on title. So it wasn't just driving for dollars. You ended up coming back and still doing hours of work, depending on how big your list is. If it's a small list, yeah, maybe it's only 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, but we don't do that. We do huge amounts of driving for dollars, where we have people out there daily driving in new neighborhoods, finding all these distressed properties. And that would take hours. And so what is it costing? It's not just costing someone on my team time, because I'm not going to do that. Like, I don't want to do that. But it's not just costing my team more time, where they got to spend more time doing it. It's costing me physically more money per hour on a task that if I didn't have to pay, what could I be putting that money towards? So let's say on a task of 1,000 names, I'm making this up. Let's say it's an additional 4 hours, like $80 to $100 in paid expenses. What if I could just simply take that $80 to $100 and apply it to software? $80 to $100 to apply it to using this platform, or $80 to $100 to apply so I can send out just more mail. I mean, that's what's going to make me money. It's not the skip tracing. It's not the finding names. Let software do that for you, save you the time and money and the headache, and you just apply that money to more direct mail, getting your message in front of them so you can get more deals.
Yeah, and just to show people, this is exactly what I used to do to identify all that information. So I would take my property address, right? I'd have this over here, and I'd say 10 Nelson Silverio. Click on search. Here's the information. Here's the first name. And this is pretty quick compared to what other people have, because this is the back end of our MLS, which not many people have this software, but that's what I would have to do for each individual one. Now I have to separate these.
Yeah, obnoxious.
Right? So that's one. It cost me $6 to do 50 in 30 seconds. For this one little task. And that's the biggest thing, is like, I want this system is literally a no-brainer once you see all the functionality of it, how much time it can save you, not only the time that it can save you, but the focus that it's going to give you to make sure that you're marketing to the right people, as we went through last week. This is just one little aspect of kind of what this system can do.
Here's a question. Can you see that, Justin?
Let me move this guy and move this. How does Deal Machine integrate with the system? Integration is not, we don't have an integration right now with them, but I'm assuming you can export lists out of Deal Machine and import directly into here, which again, I went through the importing process with you. Same exact process.
So guys, you just simply export all your list from Driving for Dollars and then import it into his system. So another thing to bring up while you're using that app, if you have not joined, or if you have joined, this gets you the biggest discount Deal Machine offers. If you just plug in the code REFF, you're going to get the biggest discount that Deal Machine offers. Use that for sure. So if you're going to use Deal Machine, there's your biggest discount right there. But again, you just like Justin says, you just export. That's what we do. So we just export the list and then import it into Justin's software.
So that's pretty much how you're skip tracing. I mean, there's a lot of, like I mentioned, there's a lot of other functionality. But the big thing is, as I mentioned before, we're relaunching this tomorrow. And we're launching it at 11 o'clock tomorrow. We've held off for the last
month. Is that Eastern Standard?
Eastern Standard, yes. So we're doing, if you sign up by August 4th, you get your first 2 months 50% discount. Jeez. And through your portal, you have a specific plan. And quite honestly, this is kind of what I call the no-brainer plan, because the reason why is
guess who gets access to the no-brainer plan, fellas? Each one of you, my people, the tribe.
You get access. So your pricing is actually going to be cheaper at certain quantities. It's going to be cheaper than it is on our OLM website. And that's just because of you're getting access to the software. So if you send, it's even lower than this, but I think we figured out if you get, if you're spending the equivalent price that other people are paying is $199, your students are paying $159.
Yep.
So if you do 1,330 letters a month,
which is no brainer, guys. I'm hoping you're doing that at least a week, just to be completely honest with you. So you have a lot of shots to make baskets.
Yep. If you do that much mail a month, you save $200 a month by ordering through InvestorHub than the website. And our website is already probably the best pricing around. So you're saving the cost of the whole program.
That's what I say. You're actually you're getting InvestorHub for free. And guys, if you haven't seen what we did, it might have been, was it last week we did InvestorHub? Or was it 2 weeks ago? Last week. Yeah. So last week we did the video over all about InvestorHub. This software is saving my team time, like time, which saves me more gray hairs popping out of the side of my head. And I'll tell you guys, it's as simple as if you're already sending out 1,300 mailers a month, you're basically, by going through InvestorHub, it's now paying for that monthly subscription. So it's a complete wash because you get your better pricing within there.
Yep.
Direct mail marketing over. Okay, here's another one. Do you recommend the direct mail marketing over Bandit signs or acquiring a spot on a busy main road shopping center marquee?
For me, I don't do Bandit signs anymore. I used to do them. When I started, I did Bandit signs a lot more. I prefer direct mail, and here's why. This is my opinion. When people see my name, I always put my logo and my business name with any type of marketing that I do. And when people see my name, I want them to have a very good impression. A lot of people that kind of drive through, and this is just from me, I steer away from Bandit signs. I just don't want to manage that aspect or do that. And most of the towns around us, it's illegal. So I don't even deal with it. And a lot of people get more upset. So I stopped doing Bandit signs probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And I really just focus on direct mail in addition to some other marketing activities like RVM, text messaging, all that stuff. Again, that's very scalable, easily scalable.
That's the word. I'm wearing the shirt today. Scalable. You want to scale? Guys, direct mail is scalable. Bandit signs is not scalable. That's something that it's literally adult daycare. Let me share a real-time story. When we used to do Bandit signs, this was actually really funny. So we had this guy doing it for us for like 3, 4, 5 months, and he'd get it out. And we get a phone call one day, and this guy calls us. He's like, "Hey, I'm a business owner, and just wanted to reach out to you. I just wanted to call you and let you know that I'm assuming you're the owner of a real estate company." We're like, "Yeah, we are." And he's like, "Well," I'm like, "Did we do anything wrong?" And he's like, No. I just want to forewarn you because I'm a business owner and I'd want to know this. But I have 200 Bandit signs in my dumpster in the back." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." My first thing was, let me get them out of there so it's not taking space. But then realized, oh, you idiot, Cody. Like, he's letting you know that someone just chucked every one of those in there. So I'm like, "Okay, tell me a little bit more." He's like, "Well, the guy has longer hair and he has and he named the car." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my Bandit sign holder, like placer." So I call him up. I'm like, "Hey, how did Bandit signs go last night?" He's like, "Oh my gosh, I got done pretty dang quick." I'm like, "Really? I that doesn't surprise me." And I'm like, and he's like, "Yeah, we did it with probably 4 hours. Like, we were just hauling last night." And I said, "So weird." I said, "This guy calls me and he says that someone threw Bandit signs in a dumpster." And he's like, "No freaking way. Someone must have followed me, grabbed all the signs and threw them in the dumpster." I'm like, "Here's the crazier thing. He said the individual drives this car and has long hair." And it was just crickets at this moment.
Oh, that's brutal.
And I was like, "I can't do this anymore. I can't do Bandit signs anymore. It's not scalable. It's adult daycare.
It really is.
Turnover job in the world. Let's be honest, who wants to hang Bandit signs every single weekend? You may find someone for a month. After that, you're finding another person. You're finding another person. And this process will never be a set in stone process because you're always having to swap out.
Yep. That's extremely true. Like, when I try to scale this hire after hire, and then I'd have them write down where they put the location. They'd have to take a picture of it. And then I had to still have somebody check, or myself would have to check to make sure they took all the pictures. They have all the address. It's just more work than it needs to be. And that's why I just got rid of it. And it's, the people's impression of Bandit signs, not all that stellar. The legal
and direct mail is scalable. That's the key word why I wear this shirt. Like, scalable, like scale. You want to scale? do something that doesn't require people and doesn't require like this ongoing hire.
Yeah.
That's why Costco figured it out. If we can just pay our employees a little bit more than average, we won't have to go through this hire, fire. We'll have this longevity of people staying. They're the number one company in the country for retention of employees. Why?
Yeah, I didn't know
because
that.
they figured it out. And people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like they're paying their people that do forklifts $25 an hour. And it's like, yeah, but guess what? They're not having to pay the thousands of dollars a year in training new employees because their employees stay. Like they figured it out, guys. You want something that's scalable, direct mail, click of a button. Whether someone calls me up tomorrow and says, hey, I no longer can work for you guys anymore. I'm moving tomorrow. I'd be like, it's okay. Because my processes are all systematized. They're all scalable with or without people.
Yep, absolutely.
Great question. Let me see if I have a couple other. Deal Machine Ref is a better discount monthly than the TTP code. I don't know. And it's REFF. So make sure you add the second F. But yeah, you basically get, I want to say it's like 10 or $15 a month off every single month. Like not just your first month, every ongoing month. So I don't know what his is, but yes, ours is the biggest discount they have. And it's a 10% off every single, or $10 off every single month. Let's see. What about shopping center marquees on super busy roads? I'm not huge on that either, Justin. I'm more of I'm a guy that likes to invest in like direct to the consumer and not based on someone driving by and seeing it. Help? Yes. If I was at a beginning stages, that's not my best use of time of getting leads into close deals. If I want deals tomorrow, I'm starting everyone. In fact, my Real Estate Freedom Formula course, everyone goes through direct mail first because it does all the heavy lifting for you. Most people are doing a 9-to-5 job. And so to be able to have to do all this other stuff once you leave, it's just hard to ever get in the game. And that's why people get so frustrated and quit the game so quick, is because they are working a 9-to-5 and then they have to come home and pick up a phone and cold call for 5 hours. It's like, that's going to be tough. That's going to be really hard. And it's going to be hard on the relationships where they're like, how long can you do this before you start sacrificing relationships? So I always start with direct mail, not marquee. I want directly to the consumer so that it's doing all the heavy lifting for me while I'm at my 9-to-5, so that when I get home, I'm just calling back the voicemails, the people that are saying, yes, let's go.
And also it's the quality of the lead that you're marketing to, right? Anything with Bandit signs, marquee, anything like that, you're blasting it out to anyone. They could not, you might get a lot of eyes, but you might not get the eyes that you want to see that information. When you build a lead list, a lot of people don't want to go through the process of building a lead list. That's one of the reasons that we created the software that makes it so easy. And it allows you to identify your stacked leads so you know who's on multiple lead lists and your highest quality leads. So now you can attack them.
Yeah.
I would much rather attack 1,000 high quality leads focused rather than throwing out hundreds of Bandit signs, because I know they're already qualified in my funnel if they're on my lead list. They're not on a Bandit sign that anybody can see that.
Hey, Justin, how hard would it be? I know this is on the spot, and if it's hard to switch over, I totally understand. But I want to. This is a great question that I freaking love this question. But I think it's because I'm giddy about your gosh dang software. Is the OLM return mail system very helpful?
Yes,
guys, this is the coolest software you'll ever come upon. Let me tell you why. Next week, I'm going to bring on a guest that's been using this now for 2 or 3 weeks. And I'll bring on a guest to give you his intake and input on it, that like an actual user, because yes, we've been using it. Justin's been using it, but why don't we I'll bring over one of Justin's clients, and it happens to be one of my students as well, to just give him his real honest feedback. This software is his favorite software in the whole entire thing. Like, he loves it because he's able to get his daughter involved in this game. One of the byproducts or the benefits of running your own operation and being an entrepreneur is your kids get to watch mom or dad do this, and they get to see what mom and dad's doing. And because of this software, it's so cool. Like, I can't tell you like how cool it is to watch Bob Antony say his daughter gets giddy when she scans it in front of the computer and it does like the checkout sound from the grocery store. It's like beep, beep, and she loves it.
We'll give it a roll.
He's involving his daughter, and his daughter's now thinking outside the box, like, do I want to work for someone or do I want to own my own business? And she's learning right from her own dad. And the same thing with my boy. My boy's like, Dad, so what can I do at my age? I can't just go house to house like you do and put homes under contract. And I'm like, well, what if we did like lawn mowing? So he made flyers, and now Justin, he just picked up his 5th home. He's 12 years old, and he makes $90 a week, and he loves it.
Love it.
It's all byproduct of just watching Dad work, and it's been fun.
That is so true, and that was one of my biggest driving forces to start my own business, is for my kids, for them to see what if you have a dream or if you have a vision, you can actually do it. You can create a company. And my kids were just in here yesterday. My wife had to go out to a doctor's appointment. She's like, can I drop the kids off? Awesome. They sat in one of our meetings that we had, like with my whole team, so they get to see that. And they're like 7 and 9. They're really good. They know when they need to, not be loud and stuff like that. So they got to take part in the meeting and just really get to see everything that I do day in and day out. And I love that aspect. I absolutely love it. And I can see their wheels turning. Like my daughter's she started a YouTube channel about a couple months ago, and she's now trying to figure out how to get more traction and more people like subscribing. And, that's not just by chance. That's her seeing what I'm doing. I was doing a ton of YouTube videos. So she thought it was interesting, and she's following other YouTube people. So it really goes down to the kids on what you're doing. And I just love it. I love that aspect of it.
It is. So show us so that people can see what Bob is talking about, like how easy it is to involve his daughter to be in the game, and he pays his daughter to be in the game versus having to even pay an employee.
Mm-hmm.
And he saves a lot of time, a lot of money, and he gets to train his daughter and to do something active that's really cool. So let's show him the beep.
Again, this is something small. Maybe it seems like but if you've ever gotten returned mail, it's a huge time saver. So when you fulfill direct mail through open letter marketing, you can now take your returned mail and you can hold the little barcode up and you hear that little beep and it records. So now you're just scanning all of your returned mail.
So guys, this would also be using open letter marketing as your mail house, your preferred mail house. And again, through that portal, the openlettermarketing.com/REFF, that's how you can access my pricing for the mail house portal to access his mail house. And so his mail house will put that tracking on there. And then you just put that in front of your camera that's on your computer, and it already recognizes it and removes them from the future mailing list. And then you can skip trace and bring the new address back in. But keep going.
So even a new feature that we just added actually the end of last week. So this is brand new. So you saw I just scanned everything in and I said download to CSV just so you can see what the file looks like.
Yep.
So give it a second. Where is the file? Here it is. Let me just make this bigger. So you can see it has your property address, city, state, zip, first, last name, mailing address information. So you have all of your information there.
Yep.
Very nice and easy. You can also click push to OLM InvestorHub. And as you mentioned, it's going to push it into OLM InvestorHub, and it's going to change the status of these leads to undeliverable. So then what you can do is you can skip trace all the undeliverable and find new mailing addresses, again, with the very easy click of a button.
And guys, just so you know, I think we think that that's common sense. I want you to think about this. I think we think that that's common sense. You get undelivered mail back to you, returned mail, and we think, oh, well, I'm going to skip trace this. But then you're thinking, oh, but so is everyone else. I want you to think common sense is not always common practice.
Mm-hmm.
No one, if people are telling you, oh, we skip trace all of our return mail, 9 out of 10 are blowing smoke out of their ears on this one.
Yep.
No one's doing it. They just throw it in the garbage and they just send out the same mail piece to the same address again and again and again. And the list just gets bigger and bigger of undeliverables. So this takes that out of it, but it doesn't do it in a stress. Now, I'm not making fun of people. It's just so gosh dang time consuming to do it the normal way.
Yep.
If you don't have software like this and you manually, or a virtual assistant manually has to remove everyone individually, it's just obnoxious. But if you just simply do beep, 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 go over to InvestorHub and say remove them from list, easy as that, I think we would all start to be a lot more profitable in our business. And you would start to see that the cost that you're throwing out in wasted mail, you're now saving, and you can throw it towards something else. This is how you get profitable, guys.
Absolutely. And the other really cool thing that's new, so let me go to my returned mail history that shows all of my scans, right, and all the different previous actions that I've done. We added this new button right here, skip trace. So let's say you don't have InvestorHub for whatever crazy reason. You can click on this button right here, skip trace, and it'll automatically bring it up into the skip trace product. It'll attach it. You just click on add to cart, and it will skip trace the list for you.
That's awesome.
So that's a new kind of feature that we added, so you can easily, very quickly skip trace outside of InvestorHub.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Let me see if I have questions. Is there an ability to run the leads through the DNC list? Do you have a DNC, do not call list?
Good question. Yeah, so in InvestorHub, I'm going to just select visible, go to fulfillment.
Nicole, by the way, thank you so much for all these fantastic questions. I truly do appreciate you being here on this Lunch and Learn. You've asked some great questions, and it's helping like facilitate and inspire some more stuff about this software. So great questions.
That's awesome. So once in fulfillment, you click on compliance. You have your DNC list right here. Right, you can select and order this product, and it'll identify. Yeah.
So there you go, Nicole. Yes, you can. Does he also have a text messaging feature?
Not right now, but we are looking into that to have RVM, text messaging, all within this platform.
That's awesome.
So right now, if people are doing text messaging, all that you have to do is just, you can export freely your leads when you export. And not only that, when you export the information, it still tracks that marketing activity that you do. Mm-hmm. So let me give you an example. If I wanted to export this and I say export, it's going to ask me, so I'm just going to do test. What's the export reason? I'm exporting from marketing for RVM, and I'm going to send the RVM on the 30th. So I'm going to export. Now let me see if it pulls right up. Go to the history. So it's going to just take a minute, I think, until it export is done. It's completed. Hopefully that was the right lead that I selected. Right here, RVM on 7:30, it exported. So it's still tracking your marketing history, even though you're not fulfilling within the system. It's still smart enough to know that you're sending all of these different marketing touches to the person.
Nicole says, looks like direct mail has made a comeback. Here's the difference, Nicole. I don't think it really ever died. It was the way people were using it was just probably incorrect. I don't know if that's the fairest way to say, Justin. It's just, I've noticed that we no longer treat every lead the same. What was happening was a lot of people are like, man, it just costs so much to send out mail. It's because the strategy that most people are using are you bring in 5,000 leads from a list and you send 5,000 postcards out to that list. Yep. Well, the beautiful thing about software, about having this in your back pocket is you input these different lists right here, the screen that you're looking at, Nicole. You import, let's say you import 5 lists and you're doing tax delinquent, high equity absentee, code violation. I'm making this up, but let's say you put in 5 lists, probate, eviction, and divorce. You enter in those lists. And then what happens is this circle over here. Can you see my mouse doing that? So this circle right here is going to qualify the value of that lead, meaning it's going to stack. Hey, of the 5,000 names, 106 of those were on multiple lists. Would you qualify that as a higher like value lead? For me, yes. So what's happening is it's not that direct mail has made a comeback. Direct mail has always been one of my best ROIs. Always. It's 2015 when I started. What's changed is the strategy. You can't just send all 5,000 a postcard. Yeah, you're spending a lot of money that you don't need to spend. But what if you knew 106 were stacked leads? They were on multiple lists, and you send a special marketing campaign to those 106. And then the medium quality, you send a different special strategy to that list. And then the cold leads that you send an even less, like the cost. Let's say for those individuals, you just do ringless voicemail. For those individuals, you do just a text message. And then the medium quality, maybe it's just a postcard. And then the high quality, it's like, let's take some of this money now. It's only 106 of them. So let's do a postcard. Let's do a letter. Let's do a different little campaign that's unique for these 106. So what happens is you get very dialed in on each lead, knowing these ones are going to get this, these leads are going to get this, and these leads are going to get that. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference why direct mail, when I say it's had a comeback, it's always been there. Yep. It's just many people's strategies have been very, very not in sync with what you should be doing.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it's all about adapting to the market and the competition. And if the market and competition is really high, you have to figure out different marketing strategies, not only to get the best results, but also to save money. So most people, like you mentioned, send the same stuff over and over to all of their leads, when now in the system, you can really identify your high versus your medium versus your low quality leads. So as you can see on my screen, I'm attacking them in different ways.
Brian said, is there training support? Is there training support or videos to learn to navigate and use the software? Absolutely.
So depending on what system that you're on, you have a chat feature within the app. And on your REFF plan, you have a chat feature. You have this little feature.
You want to show them that?
Yeah.
Let me jumping you all the way around, but I think it'd be of great value to these guys. So guys, again, let me put up this banner real quick. openlettermarketing.com/REFF. This is so you get access to this portal that we're in and gives you all of my pricing, the same pricing I pay with my company. You will get access to that. So he's going to take care of my people, my tribe, and you get access for it by just going through openlettermarketing.com/ref. And then talk to us about that feature that answers that question. Yeah. How's the support? How's that? Is there a support? Is there a training that teaches you how to use each software?
So we have video tutorials. We have getting started. We have tons of video tutorials. We have tons of articles. But if you can't find your information there, if you're on the REFF plan, I mean, you can chat with people right here. And our staff are live, and they'll talk to you 9 to 5, Monday through Friday.
It's been a quick response. I've been impressed with your response.
Yeah, Dave. 57 seconds is the average time that they respond back.
Yeah,
57 seconds. It's been really good. And then you also have this
impressive because I'm let's call a spade. He's not Amazon where he has 5 million employees working for him. That's not the case. So 57 seconds is very impressive because I think that's impressive period at the end. But the fact that you're doing it off of the size of team you have, I think is just that much better.
Yep. And you also have this checklist. So if you click on one of these, it's going to take you through, and it's actually going to walk you through how to do certain things. So amazing. We have checklists, we have videos, tutorials, we have help desks, and we have chat functionality.
Go into that portal real quick. I want to show them something.
Which portal?
Just the open letter marketing /ref.
Ref?
If you're in the ref portal, guys, this is what it looks like. Go to the top. He even included 2 videos for the tribe right here. Get started video tutorials and place an order video tutorial. And basically you can watch that. And he integrated some of my stuff that I train for my students. And he integrated that into this. So like he'll break it down. Like if you're sending out X amount of mail pieces, that's also some of the stuff that I'm like, hey, my students, I love them to send out this. So he made that video specific for that, but then show you how to go through the software to use it. So to your answer, Brian, yes, it's there. Fantastic. I don't know if you have anything else, but this has been, I think, a great lunch and learn. And I think it's been something that's allowed us to really dive into 2 great softwares. And that is skip tracing, guys, and using a preferred vendor for that, meaning one that he put in 50 numbers, got 100% hit rate, which is really, really good. Bringing back the most accurate data back to you. Yep. His pricing's phenomenal. So this is where I go to use. And if you just go through this portal right here, openlettermarketing.com/REFF, you get access to that same pricing. But then also the OLM InvestorHub. That's that way that if you're already sending out 1,300 mailers a month, you're already paying for that software program that he's already giving his best discount. Meaning, if you go through just the website, it's $199. Through the portal, it's $159. But again, 1,300 mailers wipes that cost where you're basically not paying anything for InvestorHub, and you're gaining more than the $159, guys. That's where you get your time back. Yeah. That's where you really have access to, like, hey, undeliverable, beep, 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 and like it's done. So I love this software. I'm grateful for people like you because, like I said, this head isn't going to come up with that stuff.
Yeah, and we're going live 11 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. If they order within the next week, they get 50% off their first 2 months. So even that right there is, crazy low price.
Yeah, they go through they go through the portal, they still get that % off.
Yep.
Guys, no brainer. Save time. Get it back so you can go like Justin and go 2 months in an RV and go visit the West Coast and come visit me. It's gonna be fun. So get out there and really, when it comes to business and scaling, we're probably our own enemies. We tend to get in our own way, thinking we got to touch everything, and that is true if we're always reliant upon people doing everything. Allow software and the amazing technology that what it can do to do it, so that you free up that time. That time is more valuable to go build memories.
Absolutely.
Again, a lot of people get into the number one reason is they want time back, is why they get into real estate. But yet we get into real estate and we fall into the trap of more time in. And yes, you may make more money than your current job, but now you're just trading basically time for just a higher pay. But it's like you didn't gain any time back with your kid, with your wife, or with your spouse, or with your loved ones, or your family. It's like, let's do what we all wanted. Let's get our time back. And that's where software comes in. And grateful for you, for Justin, for coming to share this, because you could be doing a lot more stuff right now. And I'm grateful that you'd come in and share with the tribe how they can gain more time.
Yeah, I love this stuff, Cody. I absolutely love this stuff and helping people out. So,
okay, you guys, we will be here next week, and we'll bring on one of the users for using all this software, so you can get like real-time feedback. What are people or clients of Justin saying? Like, what is it they'd love the most? And maybe they're going to give some perspective that we haven't even thought about, Justin, which is actually I'm excited about.
That's good.
Sometimes what makes Justin happy is something where they'll go in and be like, "Oh, that's cool, but watch how cool this is." Yeah. And really what it is, it just solves people's pains. And that's what we want. We want to run away from pain and run towards pleasure. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. We got so many great things. So you get InvestorHub with the monthly. Let me see if that makes sense. So you get the InvestorHub with the monthly. So yeah, InvestorHub is a monthly subscription. But if you're sending out at least 1,300 mailers, it's basically a wipe. You're not paying for it, because the cost of ordering direct mail through InvestorHub versus the website is already a big enough savings that it pays for that monthly fee. 1,300, that's it. And I recommend you send that at least every week. Yeah. Like, my goal is to get everyone 2,000 pieces a week, and your phone is going to melt. It's going to be like ringing off the hook with opportunity. So killer stuff. Justin, thank you so much. And I will see you next week. Thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Cody.
Let's continue to serve individuals to help them get more time back.
Absolutely. Thanks, man.
Okay. Take care, guys.